If you're not lucky enough to live somewhere nice and warm, then you will most likely encounter some kind of winter riding when it's really cold, wet, windy, and so on. And for that, you either choose to stay inside and get on the rollers, which is what I did last year. And to be honest, I hated it. So this year I decided to upgrade my kit to some good stuff so I can ride outside all year long in all conditions. And this is what I use for winter when it's, well, I would say 7 to 0 or even minus 2, 3, 5 degrees Celsius. And I found that it actually is the best fitness upgrade you can make if you have quality clothing for all conditions, because then you have no reason or no motivation to skip training days, because I think consistency is the most important of all. And if you have the right gear to feel comfortable in any kind of weather, then you are good to go. So I would start with the accessories, which I have here. Well, most of this gear is from Rapha. I tried some different brands, and it applies to, well, just general rules, what you need, but I think this is some good quality stuff. It's probably worth the money. So, let me start with a hat. Obviously, most helmets are vented, which makes most helmets are quite vented, the standard ones, which is excellent for climbing and for hot weather, but I prefer to use an aero helmet for winter and bad weather riding, which has less vents, so you don't get so much wind chill and so on. You stay a bit warmer, but you don't overheat. For example, if you wear some hat that's too warm or anything. So an aero helmet would be my first tip. Just start at the bottom, then a good cap. I really like this one from Perlizumi here. I don't exactly know what's the name of it. It's I think Barrier. That's it. It's quite thin, breathable, fits really well. It's good for milder weather. I would say around down to 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. If it's a little colder than that, I use this one from Rapha, which also has a nice peak on it. This is from a soft shell water resistant material. It appears to be quite bulky, but it actually fits really nice, at least on my head, and you don't overheat. It's very well thought out. You can ride with the peak up or peak down. The peak down position is really good for snowy, rainy days or when the sun is up. So this is for the cap. This I think is the Pro Team winter hat. And then for the neck, if it's really cold, like sub-zero temperatures Celsius, I use this thin little snoot which I pull over my neck. It keeps the cold wind out, but it's not really suitable for really cold conditions, otherwise you might overheat. And then if you go down to the gloves, that's a really crucial point of the kit, because it's no joyriding with frozen hands. These are some soft shell Perlizumi gloves, work really well, again in milder conditions. Really good dexterity in there, so I try to use them most of the time, but when it's too cold for them, then I use Rapha's winter gloves, which are really thick, almost like skiing gloves, but you can still control the bike quite well. Still quite a nice feel. They have a leather palm, again to aid with control. They fit really snugly, and they're good for, well, 5 degrees and lower. And if it's extremely cold, sub-zero temperatures, then I wear these merino liners underneath them to keep my fingers from freezing. Then my most critical area are my feet. They get cold really easily, so I have a whole array of overshoes, again from Rapha. These are just over socks, good for dry, a bit milder climate. And then I have these Pro Team winter socks, which insulate really well. They help a great deal to keep my feet warm. I use them most of the time in winter. And then these are my go-to overshoes. This is the standard neoprene overshoes. I picked these colors, these pink flow colors, because of their visibility. As you can see, they're really loud, and if you put them on, because it makes a great deal of difference whether you put these colors on. If they're on your back or on their arms, which are quite static, then they are not so easy to recognize from the distance. But if it's somewhere where you're actually moving those parts, then it's really easy to recognize. It's called something like biomotion sensing. It's just a psychological thing. Humans tend to better notice biological movements, and that's why we put the loud colors on there. So these are quite thick, waterproof neoprene overshoes. They fit quite snug to the shoes. They're well designed, quite durable too. And if it's extremely cold, then I put these over socks underneath them, and then the thermal socks as well. That's basically for the worst conditions. Then if we get to the clothes themselves, well, first I started with the long sleeve base layer, but no matter how cold it is, I still overheated in it, so I ditched that and got a thin, breathable, it's basically a summer base layer, short sleeve, so I use that now in all conditions. For when it's not extremely cold, like not sub-zero, then I use this Pro Team Aerosuit, which is basically a onesie. It's very breathable, good for high intensity riding. Has the standard 3 pockets in the back, car key pocket in the front. Nice soft shell material. It's actually quite hard to overheat in this. Also pink for visibility. And this one fits really snug, so you can go fast. It doesn't have as much as an aero penalty over summer kit, so I quite like this one for fast rides. And then when it gets extremely cold, then I use, it might seem a bit contradictory, but these are actually extremely warm, the Pro Team thermal shorts, which have fleece lined backing in there. Really warm, good for cold conditions. I pair these with merino leg warmers when it's bearable, and I put some merino knee warmers over those if it's extremely cold, so you can layer up nicely. And I pair this with the Pro Team winter training jacket, which I think is the warmest in the complete Pro Team range. I like to use the Pro Team range from Rapha because it fits my skinny body quite well. Again, this is extremely warm, but quite breathable at the same time. Not completely waterproof, but repels water and spray quite nicely. Most stitching is seam welded, so again some good quality kit. I wanted to choose the black one, but it wasn't in stock, so this is the blue one, which has better visibility to it. Okay, so this is the rundown of my winter kit with some winter riding tips on there. I will do one of these videos for all kinds of weather. Basically I'll run through my whole collection, so stay tuned for that. And if you want some bike related, tech related stuff, then also check out the other videos on my channel, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.